Hey Mustangs, this is Principal Echoes with a special message for you. We are excited about you guys coming back to school for in-person learning here at Metea Valley High School. This video is going to kind of take you through, show you around, go over a couple things, and also show you the protocols that we have in place when you guys return to in-person learning. Students, every morning before coming to school, we're going to ask that you self-certify in Synergy using ParentView. They're going to ask you some questions very similar to this before you come to school every day. That's very important. Here's a short video to show you guys how to self-certify at home. Students, when you enter the building each day, make sure you have your mask on. Please don't gather. You can go to the Commons, straight to your classroom. You can go to the area right outside the auditorium or the LMC. Students, when you're in the building, please wear your masks at all times for your safety and the safety of others. If you should forget your mask or if something breaks on your mask, we have extra masks available in the house, in the main office, and in the nurse's office. Students, when you enter a classroom, please make sure you're wearing your mask at all times. The desks have been socially distanced for you. If you see a mark like this on one of the desks, you don't sit there. Feel free to sit at the desk that is open to you. Hey! When you're coming down the stairwells or when you're going through the hallway, we ask that you stay to the right. We have everything marked on the ground appropriately for you. Students, we are not using lockers this year. As you can see, many of the rows have been blocked off. For the rows that are open, we do ask that you follow the arrows that we have on the ground. Students, if you run into any issues during the course of the day, we want you to feel free to visit your Alpha House. For example, this is the Merit House. It services students with the last name A through EL. You can come in and see your guidance counselor, social worker, dean, or even speak to a secretary. We only ask that you observe the social distancing marks that we have, and only 3 students are allowed in the house at one time. Students, we ask that you use the washroom during the passing periods. Please note that during the first 10 minutes and last minutes of class, you will not be allowed to use the washroom. If your teacher does allow you to use the washroom during the course of the class, you will need to use a pass and have one visible. Only 3 students are allowed in the washroom at one time. So if you go into the washroom and you see more than 3 students, we ask that you respectfully step out and wait your turn. During the passing period, students, we ask that you observe the markings on the ground, stay to your right, please don't gather, and keep it moving. Students, if you have access during 1st, 2nd, or 8th hours, we ask that you find an area to be seated in the Commons or in the LMC, just like in the past. Now, when you have lunch on your schedule, remember no lunches are being served here at Metea Valley, but you are allowed to find an area either in the Commons, in the LMC, the large forum room, which is on the 2nd floor, and there's also an area that we will set aside outside of the auditorium. When you find a table to be seated, we ask that you observe the markings and only sit at the areas that are open. For example, in the Commons, there are 2 students allowed per table. In the LMC, there's only 1 student allowed. But these markings, if you follow those, they won't lead you astray. After school, students, we ask that you leave the building. unless you have an appointment with a teacher. There are no clubs, sports, or activities going on after school at this time. We thank you, and as always, go Mustangs.